next session is, I will also share my video. Next session is a session about how customers are adopting the cloud by skilling their people. And like I said in my presentation before, we've had some great tracks with some great customers, and two of these customers are with us now. One of them is Stefan Simenon. He is the head of public cloud of ABN AMRO, and they will and he will introduce himself later a little bit more. The other one is Michel Wets from SURF. I'm not sure if Michel is already in the call, but I think we are working on that. And the discussion will be led by Marco. Marco Evers works for Computrain. He's senior account manager and works closely together with customers like ABN AMRO, for instance. So Marco, the floor is yours. And same counts for Stefan and Michel. It's great to have you here.
Yeah, thank you very much, Patrick, for introducing. We're waiting on Michel. I see he's logged in as a guest. Maybe someone can look at that. But Stefan is already there, so we'll introduce first Stefan. Welcome in this session where we will be talking to two customers who have put into practice what we talked about this morning. They're joined virtually. Stefan Simenon, he is the head of public cloud Azure platform within ABN AMRO, and he will introduce himself later. The second one is Michel Wets. He's head of cloud at SURF, the organization which supports a lot of educational organizations in Holland. These two organizations are very good examples of the many organizations we are working with in the recent years about developing their right cloud skills. Computrain students have students in open courses, and we have trained groups with employees in our hybrid programs, as you saw that Patrick presented earlier. But recent we also did a few boot camps for them, and we will talk about that also. For both ABN AMRO and SURF, we developed a white label Skills Academy portal, as Patrick also showed, and we use that also in trainings. And if you have seen earlier in the presentation of Patrick. Now we first introduce a third party. That's a video we will share with you, and that's of the Finnish party Tieto Avery. That's a solution integrator, and this video will show the importance of well-skilled employees for Tieto. It will take about 2.5 minutes, and after that Stefan and hopefully also Michel will introduce themselves, and we'll have a panel discussion about the importance of cloud and training for their organization. Please start a video.
The Azure training is important for many reasons, and starting the customer aspects. Being relevant to customers, you need to bring the right competence, right skills, and right expertise into the dialogue. Looking at the other, very important stakeholder in training and development is clearly the employees. To be an attractive employer, you need to provide proper training and learning opportunities for employees. The Azure training is a very important aspect in our offering to the employees, so they can build on their skills, develop new skills, and also drive the same relevant discussions with our customers. I think the customers will feel and see the value of having 3,000 people trained on the Azure platform in 2 dimensions. First of all, it's the breadth of people, meaning that they're running many projects at the time, and actually having 3,000 people trained, we have the capacity needed. Also, we're training people very deeply in certain areas. So if you have a specific challenge and you need deep competence, we should be able to provide that as well. Meaning that we can, solve capacity problems as well as specialist deep competence problems. So in that sense, we should be able to address all customer requirements when it comes to utilizing Azure technologies to drive benefits on their side. In an attempt to try to recap the value of the Azure training, I would highlight the following. First of all, if you want to stay ahead of the game, be relevant to your customers and also be an attractive employer, doing the Azure training and associated certification is highly valuable.
Okay, well, that's how Jato looks at training. Sorry, I've got a short message of Michel. He's still trying to log in. He's asking if he can log in with his telephone.
Yeah, I'm going to give Michel a call, and okay. we can provide his sound, his answers through my speaker
okay.
phone in.
Okay, and I'll first go to Stefan. Stefan, hello. Please, we know each other, but the rest don't know you. So can you please introduce yourself and tell something about ABN AMRO, the organization where you work?
Yes, thank you for introduction, and also thank you for organizing this event. I'm Stefan Simenon, head of public cloud platforms Azure within ABN AMRO.
Dag Michel, met Patrick, Computrain spreek je.
Within ABN AMRO, we are moving applications towards public cloud. Azure is our main platform. We also have AWS, but the organization is focusing on Azure. Now we started the journey, I think 4 years ago, with a small group of pioneers who were setting up the platform. Initial applications went to the platform. Now there is lots of investments done in the platform itself. So within ABN AMRO, we are a bank, we're highly regulated. We need to comply to security requirements. So we need to make sure we have the right security requirements implemented. It's quite a lot. It's a lot of work, lots of difficulties to get these implemented. And together with our CISO department, we have set up a platform which I'm leading. Those teams. It's a set of DevOps teams who provide all kind of platform capabilities, product development, and managed Kubernetes platform, networking security, governance enablement, just to mention a few. There is in total around 10 to 11 teams in my department, DevOps teams. And as I said, within ABN AMRO, we have a large digitalization program running to move applications from on-prem to cloud, to public cloud, and learning and skills and changed way of working is crucial to make that successful.
Yes. Stefan, you're already talking about my first question, which I would want you to ask, and that's you're already introducing the importance of cloud for ABN AMRO. Can you please say, well, how that development in the last, let's say, 5 years? Because 5 years ago, well, almost nobody was doing something with cloud, but now it's very, very important. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, so 5 years ago it was all on-premise. We had our on-premise systems. We had a waterfall organization where projects were set up and started, and then a separate team, a separate operations team, which is outsourced with IBM within ABN AMRO. They take care of the infrastructure, of the deployments, of all kind of security and databases and these kind of things. Now, public cloud offers lots of opportunities with regards to scaling, infrastructure you don't need to take care of. You don't need to take care of all kind of data center capabilities. If you move to PaaS or SaaS, you also don't need to take care of your network or your operation system. And because of the opportunities, ABN AMRO has made the move to public cloud. And as an ABN AMRO IT department, we also want to be an attractive company for engineers. It was also mentioned in one of the earlier presentations. All good engineers, they want to be involved with new innovation, with public cloud, with Kubernetes, these kind of things. And next to the opportunities which public cloud brings, you also need to move on with new innovation in order to attract and maintain good developers. So those are the main reasons why ABN AMRO has made the decision to focus on public cloud. Okay.
I'm moving to Michel. Michel joined us in this moment, but you can't see him live, so I'll ask him some questions. Michel, can you please introduce yourself and your organization, and please keep it very brief.
Thank you, Marco. Apologies for this poor reception for way of joining. I work for SURF. SURF is the ICT cooperative for research and education in the Netherlands. We support universities, University of Applied Sciences, research institutions, MBO, with their ICT needs and help them to be agile. One of the ways we do that is by helping them in their cloud journey. I lead the cloud team, product owner of a cloud service, and I participate in international procurements for cloud services. So that's who I'm aware of.
Yeah, can you please shortly tell what SURF is doing?
So every institution struggles with cloud. No, I shouldn't say struggle. They see the benefits of clouds, but also have a lot of questions. And instead of each institution running their own procurement, doing their own GDPR analysis, looking at which vendor meets their requirements best, we do that at SURF. We are the trusted advisor, and we take away the hurdles for institutions to use cloud, and we create communities in which they can collaborate and in which they can each use these services without having to worry much themselves.
Okay, thank you. I have another question. Please, Stefan, can you tell us why the investing in cloud knowledge is important for your organization, and how important do you think is certification in that?
Yes, so if you move to public cloud, people need to develop different skills. The move to public cloud is also done together with an ABN AMRO with DevOps, with the move to DevOps. And those two things cannot be seen separate from each other, according to us. And as I said, in the traditional environment, you had a separate team for Ops, and in the DevOps environment, public cloud environment, there is one single team who's not only responsible for development, but also for operations. People who used to develop, they are now responsible for infrastructure components. They are responsible for security. They are responsible for databases. They are responsible to make their own pipelines. They are responsible to do their own deployments up to production. They are responsible for resolving incidents, for making sure the application is kept up and running. And in order to do so, you need to develop additional skills. And if you don't have these skills, it will become a hard job to be successful. So on the one hand, the teams, they need to have additional skills. Of course, the public cloud provider, they will take care of certain components, but still the teams need to use these and need to develop based upon this. Also, infrastructure as code is an example of a new skill. And secondly, public cloud offers also many functionalities which are not available on an on-premise environment. And Azure and also AWS and Google, they have lots of good training facilities for that. You can find online, if you Google, you can find lots of material. And we find certification important because you enforce yourself to get the required details. So I know many people who just did a classroom training, and then you learn certain things. But if you do the certification, you will learn much more, and it also it also keeps on. Keeps on being part of your memory. So that's
what you're really saying is that if you do the certification, the knowledge will land better in your brain.
Exactly.
And you have it.
Exactly.
You can use it really. Okay.
Exactly.
Then I'll move to Michel. Michel, can you tell me the same for your organization? Because your organization is a bit different in that, and you're working with other high schools and universities which have to do the training.
Yes, yes, but it is pretty much the same as Stefan. Initially, in the beginning, there was a lot of demands for the 103s and the 900s trainings. There was a time when the institutions were more trying out clouds. Now we see institutions moving into production environments, into the cloud, and that requires different assurances, and that's why we now actively promote more trainings, wider trainings, not organized by SURF, but through organizations like you guys are, because following that training, and especially during the examination, it raises the quality of the skill sets. It lowers the risks of a imperfect use of cloud, and lowers the risk of cost overruns. So it's part of your governance. It's part of your process you need to have in place to have a successful cloud experience. And we help institutions become aware of that, and that it is beneficial for them in the governance. It is beneficial for the IT admins because it is something good on their resume, and they're happy to participate.
Yeah, okay, but I understood that you found a way to encourage the trainings at the universities and HBOs, for example, by refunding the training money. What's the reason of that?
That's because we really value and really believe that certification is the key to a successful cloud journey. So indeed, what we do is we're totally not for profit, not for loss, but nevertheless, I have funds of which can help institutions evolve. And one of the things we're doing this year is the institutions using SURF Cumulus, they follow the training and they take certification and they pass certification, then we will refund them the cost for the training as an incentive to do so.
Yeah, so what you're saying is that by doing that and see that your partners are well trained, your work is also being easier because they have less problems and so on.
Of course, I mean, I talked about risk mitigation on less than perfect experiences. I mean, we're part in that chain. So if a mistake is made, we would be involved in that too. So it is partly indeed in our own best interest to have well-trained staff at the institution so that the cloud experiences are perfect. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Let's move on to another question. In the past year, we have trained, this is a question to Stefan, sorry. In the past year, we trained about, I think 150 people within ABN AMRO on Azure. And also we did 2 very successful boot camps with high success rates. And there were even people who get 5 exams in a week and passed all of them. You yourself were one of the participants in the last boot camp we did last month. What's your experience with a boot camp?
So my experience with a boot camp, that it is hard work. You need to study a lot, huh? So it's you say 5 certifications in 1 week, but if you do participate in boot camp, you need to study, and you need to start studying 6 weeks in advance. So you get trainings material from Computrain. And you need to study. You get access to labs, so you some hands-on things you need to do. And then during the bootcamp itself, there is all kind of deep dive knowledge sharing. You can ask questions. That there is opportunity to check all kind of things. But if you organize a bootcamp, you take part of a bootcamp. You do that with a group of 18 to 20 people, and then you stimulate yourself to not only to learn but also to get the certification. And there is every day there is a stand-up in which you need to report on certain things. You need to tell about experiences. If you have questions or concerns, you can address these. But making sure that or attending a bootcamp and force you to study, to set a goal, but because that's very important, to set a goal, and then also work towards that goal. And if you take part of the bootcamp and you don't clear the certifications while others do, then you feel yourself a little bit guilty. So it's a good motivation to learn quickly, and also by participating in this bootcamp, you free up all your time to focus upon the study. So you don't have interaction with the work. The agreement is that there is 100% focus on the bootcamp. So the advantage is that you can learn a lot in a short time frame, and all the things you learn you can bring into practice in your daily work, because that's also a very important benefit. That the certifications you do, the materials you learn, that's very good related to the daily work.
And I think you're a good example for that, because you as a manager managed to do, as well as the 104, the 303 and the 304 all in 1 week. So even failing for one exam and then get it in a second chance, it was really a great success.
As a manager, I also would like to understand the content a little bit, because there's impediments, there's all kind of decisions to be made, and I also would like to be a good example for the department.
Exactly. And I have a question for Michel. Michel, in recent years, we provided a lot of training for you and all the educational institutions. I think, maybe a few hundred participants. How can you look back on this? And I know the previous projects, the certification was somewhat non-committal. And how can you indicate how you stimulated certification now?
Sure. We started collaborations with Microsoft and Computrain about 4 years ago. In our partnership with Microsoft, we agreed to do a number of trainings. They were generic trainings, reflecting where the institution stood at that time, more explanatory. And that was perfect. I mean, there was a lot of demand for these trainings from institutions. They were successful. We trained about 600 people, I think, in a 2-3 year period. That way, and that was perfect. But now, especially with COVID, there is no possibility to get together. So there's more differences in needs in what kind of trainings and which base institutions would like to follow them. So the current ESI program, the workshops, those are much better suited. And like I said previously, the switch towards being more examination driven, it can also do with the change in usage of the cloud, not as playground, not as an explanatory test phase. It's about product tools. It is about security. It's about privacy. You want to be in control, and being certified is one of the easiest way to test that.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now I've got a final question. What kind of developments you both see for the near future? Let's say 1, maybe 2 years. Much further we can't look. This is IT. Within your organization, and what do you think that cloud training will contribute, and how this will help your organization? Stefan, can you take it up first?
Yes, the development we see is the public cloud. That more and more companies will move to public cloud. That is something I see. Another development I see is more and more focus on cybersecurity. And public cloud offers lots of facilities for that, to make sure that you can be compliant, you can report on that, you can show that you are in control. Also Microsoft is developing more and more features for that, and that is certainly something we as ABN AMRO will be focusing on. So for ABN AMRO it will be public cloud and focus upon compliance, security and controls.
Okay. Yeah, and what you're really saying, so also that you have to train a lot because there are some new things again.
Yeah, absolutely. So the people, if the people have met few certifications, that does not mean that they are ready with training. They need to continuously improve their skills. And
the train is running and keeps running.
Exactly. And at Microsoft, they are also continuously adding new certifications, new training material. And we need to keep on the pace. So the people, they need to continue training. And as a rule within ABN AMRO, we have that at least 10% of each person's time should be spent on training and education.
Yeah. Okay. Michel, how is that within SURF? How do you see that?
I think pretty much the same as Stefan is saying. The speed with the changes of public clouds brings a need for continuous training, continuous learning, simply because the stakes are too high. Institutions using public cloud, they increasingly, every organization is increasingly worried about security, about privacy, rightly so. And so the controls you have as an organization to manage these risks are increasing as well. And so I think there's going to be more need for certification, more calls for trainings and certifications. It's going to be part of an expected environment.
Yes. Yeah, I see what you mean, and well, that's for in a way the same as Stefan's saying. This train is running and it won't stop because every moment new things are getting on and you have to study. So you have to, what you say, the word continuous learning is, I think, key in this one. Recertification will be necessary within a couple of years again, and also new things are coming on. We're at 12:45 at the moment. I think this is, I want to thank you both for attending and informing us how your organizations move to cloud and are working with certifications. And I hope, we get in contact again to train many more people of your organization. Thank you very much.